Okay, I'm Joy Bailey. I am the program coordinator for the College of Arts and Sciences. I've been in distance education for about 20 years and pretty much the lead facilitator now for orientation, and Hope helps very graciously whenever I need her to. We just want to thank you for coming out today and learning more about the orientation and what you can provide to your students by using the specific component that Kristen spoke about. My co-presenter is Hope Durst, and she is the College of Business and the College of Forestry's program coordinator, and we just wanted to, I forgot my clicker, provide you a little information on how all of this came about and what we're doing today. The growth of distance education, as you may or may not know, is growing by leaps and bounds. In the year 2002, from the year 2002 to the year 2008, we had an increase of 3.2 million enrollments of students taking online classes. And in the last 4 years, that has increased in an amount of 2.3 million online students. So as this growth is occurring, we research and we all have found that we needed to make student support services available for those students and provide them with information they need before they get into your class, because once they get in the class, they're already anxious, they're already nervous, they're already worried, and if we can get all of that ironed out in the orientation, they feel a little more comfortable. With the determination and hard work of Ms. Tamara Swan, who is now with the Bagley College of Engineering, and Ms. Rachel Kennedy, much as you probably remember her, they worked really hard to get this rolling, and we offered our first orientation in 2012, I apologize. And we currently serve about 300 students per semester. Okay, who are distance education students? National statistics show that most distance education students are between the ages of 25 and 50. They work full-time, they have significant family responsibilities, and tend to have higher GPA on previously completed coursework. I myself fit into this statistic. I am between the ages of 25 and 50, and we'll leave it at that. I work full-time, I have a family, and we won't discuss the GPA at this point either. And I'm going to turn it over to Hope now to show you a little bit about the demographics of those students.
These are the demographics of our current Mississippi State distance students, and as you can see, they really mirror the national model of distance students. The vast majority, 81%, are 25 to 54 years old, 82 are working full-time, and most of them are Caucasian females. So as you can see, our statistics here are not an anomaly. We fit that national, model. While Joy talked about the overwhelming growth of distance learning in the United States, it is slightly overshadowed by withdrawal. Statistics show us that there is a high rate of withdrawal in online learning, especially at the graduate level and upper level classes. So this is even more reason why we need to make sure our students feel supported. Student support is so important to go ahead and limit frustration, trying to prevent withdrawal. I looked at several studies of graduate students in particular, as they have the highest rate of withdrawal, and the researchers found that students are unable to usually identify services available to them. They couldn't identify those services, they were unaware of those services, and they frequently listed their instructor as their primary form of support, which is great. You want a supportive instructor, but we want to relieve that burden off the instructor and help the instructor be more committed to their pedagogical activities. So we propose doing that through orientation. You will find all through scholarship, time and time again, the research is telling us students need an online orientation to help orient them to the services available to them and the learning platform that they're going to use. In fact, Mr. Rowe here lists a robust orientation program as the #1 student need. So, what is an effective orientation? This is based on hundreds and hundreds of research articles, and these are things that our orientation currently utilizes. And so what is a good quality orientation? Well, first of all, it needs to be in the same mode that students are expected to learn. We want to give those students the opportunity to experiment and experience that learning platform. We want to talk about readiness. Our students do several readiness surveys during orientation, and that helps provide them a snapshot of their current abilities and sort of reflect on any strengths and weaknesses going into their first course. Technology. Researchers also show us that students a lot of times perceive their technological abilities as being slightly higher than the truth. And some students show up to us and say, look, I'm really bad at technology, but I really want to do this program and I gotta work, so here I am. So it's our job to sort of orient them to our courses. We also want to ready them as far as their expectation. I looked at a story out of California, and they had two courses, one fully online, one on campus. The one, everyone wanted to take the one online. It was just growing and growing, and students were dropping like flies. And so they surveyed 500 of the students that withdrew and said, what is going on? Why? And the students all said, we didn't think it was going to be near as rigorous, and we were, sort of surprised by how difficult it was. So orientation is a time for us to also ready expectations for students. An effective orientation is mentor-led, and that's something that we do here. You have a mentor that's there to facilitate conversation and discussion, misguide any misunderstandings, and also too, Joy and I find, if anything else, we serve as a central point of contact for these students. It's not unusual to have a student in orientation, and then I hear from them 5 weeks later, and they said, hey Hope, I know you're not my advisor, but I just am totally confused on this. Can you point me in the right direction? So sometimes if they don't learn anything else, at least they know one name and one email address that they can find someone. An effective orientation has an assessment portion. We do require little quizzes, little reflections, and this helps us to redirect any misunderstandings. But we also make orientation accessible. So once a student is in orientation, they have that in their math courses for a year. So they can go back and utilize that if they remember something. Oh, we talked about that in orientation. Let me go see what we said about that. Orientation builds a learning community. Students can speak to each other, have dialogue, comment. We see threads when students start talking to one another. So this way they're practicing posting in my courses, but they're also building a relationship with one another. One thing that I love about our orientation is we have a program-specific component. So our forestry program could have their own section talking about something that they want their students to know about. Our MBA program can do the same thing. So this really differentiates orientation for the student. And I'm going to let Joy tell you a little bit more about that section.
First, I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of the model that we're looking at for our orientation now. Currently, it's a 4-day program. On day 1, they do introductions through discussion boards. They go through the honor code, and they go through all the student support services. Where can I locate? Who do I talk to in the registrar's office? How do I pay my bill? We go through how do I order my books? We follow all of that information. On day 2, they do the Smarter Measure assessment that she mentioned, where they're learning about their learning styles. It tells them whether their time management is going to be a problem. Are they motivated? Do they have good reading recall when reading on the screen? Because there is a difference in reading on the screen and then reading in a book. And day 3 is our intensive day for the Mitchell Memorial Library. And Justin Caney in the back and V. Dozier in the back are our distance learning specialists who facilitate that day for us. And then on day 4 is the program-specific information. And that's where the departments come into play. No two programs are alike. We have the Teachers in Biology program on campus through distance and the Teachers in Geosciences program. They were modeled after each other, but there are differences in their admissions, what they require to be admitted. There are differences in their capstone requirements. So this is a chance for those programs to show their differences to their students so they know up front what they're expected throughout their program of study. Currently, we have 36 online programs, if I'm not mistaken, and only 10 are using this. So we have a lot of departments that could really benefit from getting this information out to their students. And these are just some examples of what we have in some of the modules that exist. Faculty and staff introductions. There's one program that has all of their faculty members out in front of their building where it says the name of their building, and the students can put names with faces, and I really thought that was important. They go through just the program history. It tells them, how established is this program? Well, we've been in existence since 1992. They know what to expect as far as their assessments. Comprehensive exam information is different for many different programs. Capstone requirements. One program tells them they're going to have to go through a background check, which is pretty important. I'd want to know that up front. Internships, field experiences, and proctoring requirements. Some programs require proctoring and some don't. So the students just really like to know all of this specific information about their program.
Student feedback. At the conclusion of their orientation week, our students complete an exit survey for us. And so we really enjoy going back through, all of their comments. And these are some of the themes that I sort of pulled from all of those surveys. And this tells us that our students are enjoying their time in the orientation program. They express an increased level of comfort with the technology, especially navigating the library website. They mentioned, now I know where to go to find who I need to talk to as far as campus contacts. And going ahead and eliminating that frustration prior to, oh my gosh, I need to find the registrar's office and I don't know how. Several students mentioned that our orientation is required for undergraduate students but not graduate students. And several students said, hey, y'all should make this a requirement for everybody. I got so much from this. So that tells me that they're really benefiting from this. A lot of students talked about easing anxiety. One student used the word dress rehearsal. This was a really good dress rehearsal before my first class. And there's researchers that say too, if a student waits until they're trying to learn the course content to also learn the course tools, they're setting themselves up for increased risk of failure. We don't want them to try to submit that paper at 11:59 for that midnight deadline. That's what orientation is for. An expectation. Several of our students said, I just like knowing what the platform is going to look like and be able to visualize where I can find my tools or email. Networking. This is something that Joy and I always are really surprised about. All of our students, they're not required to comment on each other's icebreaker discussion posts, but you'll see back and forth between all these students, and they say, oh, hey, you're in that program, me too. Here's my cell phone number. You live in San Antonio, Texas, so do I. I'm glad to know another Bulldog in Texas. So we like to see students being able to network, and ironically, sometimes unlike on-campus classes, the distance students show up for the first day of class with a friend, whereas you might not have that with on-campus.
And you may be asking, what's next? Okay, my department has a program. We don't have that module, and I've got this one question that students just keep calling. They're confused about it every year. They don't understand it. I want to get that out right up front. So what you would do is just contact Hope or I, and we would work with you as close as we can to get it put out there exactly how you want it. If there is something that you're wanting to do that I'm unable to do, we have CTL here. Dr. Morris and Chris King will gladly jump in and help assist us in getting that presented in the module the way you want it presented. Currently, what we're seeing in there mainly is PowerPoint presentations. Some just have a Word document or a PDF document with information they want to give them. One program offers a pre-assessment quiz. It's a graduate program. They want to know before they start classes, how much do they really know about biology? How much do they really know about earth sciences? So they do a pre-assessment quiz, and then at the end of their program, when they come for the capstone, they do a post-assessment, and the students are able to see how they've grown. So basically, we're just here to assist you in any way we can. Just contact either one of us if you have questions or concerns, and we're going to open it up for questions. Can you hold on just for a mic?
Steve Grado from Forestry.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad to see on the feedback that you had requirement up there. So I'm guessing that the center can't make it a requirement into the program. Is
Correct.
that true?
Correct. What we're doing is, to make it required, we are holding their, used to be their racks, but now we're holding their release for registration. So once they are oriented, we send those names to the registrar's office, and they release them to be registered.
Oh, so they have to go through this?
Undergraduate students, yes.
No, I mean, I'm talking about graduate students.
Graduate students are not required. They're released automatically.
Okay, but they don't have to do this online.
They do not.
How do we go about that? Is it up to the departments?
Well, the departments, I have one department that strongly, strongly advises it. And that's the one that had the proctoring system at one point. So
Yeah.
she really needed to have them purchasing that equipment, getting in there and doing a quiz to make sure it works. There really is no set way to truly require it.
So at this point,
It would be the department
departments need to do
pushing it, yes,
Okay.
sir. And just say, your advisor's not going to let you register until you do
Well,
it.
we could do it at the department level. I
Mm-hmm.
was just wondering for graduate students, is it possible you could do it at your level? But if that's not in the cards right now.
Right, we would
it's
have
no
to have,
problem.
we would have to have discussions with the registrar's office to see if they would be willing to
Yeah.
hold those.
Well, I would think that that would be a good discussion.
Yes, I do too,
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you.
I'm Alan Bearfield from Ag Economics. Is there a way that, like, the faculty members could see this, to see what's in it, so that we can get some kind of a idea, number one? And number two, we don't have a distance ed program, but we teach distance ed classes in a program in another college.
Mm-hmm.
But we use tools differently than maybe that rest of that college does. Can we encourage or require, whatever we want to, our students to take specific pieces of this? And I'm thinking about day two. I don't
Smarter
know
Measure?
what Smarter Measure is, but the Blackboard tools part would be really good,
Mm-hmm.
and the library part would be good.
It is an
You know,
excellent
the rest of
module.
it's kind of up to the program that they're in,
Mm-hmm.
but
All the student needs is a net ID. It's external, it's not internal as far as my courses. So I wouldn't see an issue with that at all. If you have students that want to do it, or if you have students that you want to do it, provide us with a net ID, and I would be happy to put them in and just explain to them.
we
You're
just need to
only,
send those to you.
Mhm.
Okay.
And we have the dates out there on the website, on the Center for Distance Education website. You can see the dates that are coming up. We usually offer, most months we offer 2 per month. There are some months that it's slower, so we only offer 1. But they have several opportunities to take it before each semester. So I think that would be something that would be, yeah, easily doable.
what about during the semester?
They're running all year long. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Anyone else? Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it.